So you've asked to hear my story. Well, if you're expecting a success story tied up with a bow, this isn't it. This is just me telling my truth about my journey, where I've been, where I'm at, and where I'm going. For a long time, I didn't think I had a problem. Or maybe I did think it, but I didn't know what to call it. I wasn't living under a bridge. I wasn't unemployed. I wasn't what people usually picture when they hear words like addiction or mental health crisis. I was functioning. And for a while, that felt like enough. But functioning is not the same as living. I learned in early childhood how to survive abuse, survive patterns of neglect. That pattern continued on into my teens and adulthood. I learned how to keep moving, how to stay busy, how to adapt to whatever environment I was in. So, I did that so I wouldn't get rejected or abandoned again. I learned how to look strong even when I wasn't, especially when I wasn't. Avoidance was my first coping skill. I avoided feelings. I avoided silence. I avoided sitting still long enough to notice what was actually going on inside me. And honestly, that worked for a long time until it didn't. And when the old ways stopped working, when sheer determination couldn't quiet my mind anymore, I reached for something else. And I didn't reach for it because I wanted to ruin my life. I reached for it because I wanted relief. Addiction didn't show up as destruction. It showed up quietly as numbness, as something that finally slowed the noise inside my head. I told myself, "You're fine." I told myself, "You have this under control." And what I didn't realize was that I was slowly disappearing from my own life. I lost my freedom. I hurt people I loved. I made choices that didn't align with who I believed I was. And eventually, addiction put me in places I never imagined, with people I never should have trusted. Then arrived the day I was shot and left for dead. I wish I could tell you that moment changed everything instantly, but it didn't. I survived, but survival alone doesn't heal you. I carried everything with me into that next season. The shame, the fear, the patterns. What actually changed me came later, inside a jail cell. A 9x12, no distractions, no escape, no pretending. That's where I finally stopped running. Not because I had answers, but because I was tired. Tired of failing, tired of hurting people. Tired of living beneath the person I knew I was supposed to be. I remember sitting on that bunk and saying, "God, I can't keep doing this. I'm not asking you to get me out. I'm asking you to change me while I'm here." It wasn't pretty. It wasn't a spiritual prayer, but it was honest. And something shifted, not dramatically, not overnight, but quietly. For the first time, I stopped blaming everyone else. I stopped explaining myself. I stopped trying to control outcomes. I started looking inward. And listen, recovery didn't mean everything suddenly got better. It meant everything got more honest. I had to learn how to sit with discomfort without escaping it. I had to learn how to feel without imploding. I had to name my emotions instead of numbing them. I had to take responsibility without drowning in shame. I learned that I could have faith, and I also could have mental health treatment. They aren't enemies. I learned that accountability isn't punishment, it's freedom. I learned that healing isn't about fixing yourself, it's about facing yourself. Eventually, I became a peer recovery specialist, not because I had it all figured out, but because my lived experience mattered. For the first time, the things I was most ashamed of, they weren't liabilities, they were bridges. And today, I'm not standing here as someone who made it. I'm someone who keeps choosing honesty, keeps choosing accountability, and keeps choosing healing one day at a time. And as for moving forward, well, my mission is to use my story, my voice, and my God-given purpose to awaken, strengthen, healing, and possibility in every life I touch.